Okay, this demonstration is a bit of a recap of what we learned or went over in this fall session, which was um, mixing colors to create a limited color palette painting, exploring what different brushes can do. I think I also have some palette knife in here. So this was just me doing an exploration of those limited colors with some different brushes. And I like the piece. There's enough going on in there that I think I could add some more layers. So the first thing, if you could just do these quick studies if you want, really getting comfortable with your brushes or a particular color palette. And if there's one that you really like, you can expand upon it further. So I'm seeing a compositional point of interest right here. This looks like a gate or something. So I'm going to probably do some more painting around it and have this be the focal point. So there's so many different ways I can go with color. This has kind of a Japanese feeling to it. So I went through all of my color swatches and I'm hooked on this. I think this works really well. So I can lay these down and pretty quickly, like, do those colors go? I could just go much more subdued. That's a, have the names written on the back. Oh, that's a Prussian blue? I thought it was a Payne's gray. I think I wrote it on there incorrectly. Yeah, I did. Okay. And I can't even say the name, an anthraquinone blue. This says Prussian, but I think I wrote the wrong name. I think that's a Payne's gray. And then I've got this sap green. So it's very subdued. And then I have this Indian yellow. I'm thinking a pop of this somewhere up at the top. So in this class last week, I just wasn't too happy with the layering. It started looking really tight. And so in the Thursday class, I did a little bit of stencil work, and that seemed to work out really well. So what if you don't have some stencils? I'm going to do a little bit of both today to show you how you can make your own. So let's say I want to mask off this area. So what I did ahead of time is I traced, I'm going to call it this little gate. Okay, then I'm going to put my file folder. You know what? This is where tape comes in. Okay. Okay. Tape this down so it doesn't move. File folder underneath. So what I'm making is a stencil here. So I can mask off certain areas of my painting. Okay. And so I'm going to cut this out. So that tracing is, it's basically I made a pattern. Okay, now with this, I'm going to get two choices. All right. Now, the two choices are I could paint over this with a wash or a solid color, and then when I peel this off, I'll leave this alone, and I don't know what it would do, be more subdued. I don't really want to do that. I really want to keep this as it is. So I'm going to position this on here. I could still save this. I might do it on another piece, okay? A little bit of tape is helpful and the paint is dry, so that's fine. Okay, now back to the colors. When adding more layers of color, it's kind of the same process that you began with. Start probably with no more than 3, and then build from there. Okay, so these are the 3 that I'm interested in. Now, here's what was fun last week. And I don't expect you to have all of these, but okay, so I got all these different stencils. So this one, it's pretty wild for the piece, so I don't think I'm going to pick it, but there is some of that swirling movement in there. So I'm going to say no to that. If I wanted some smaller details, which I might up at the top, forgetting one of the Japanese clans has, you know, I think it's a flower or a mum is their family crest. So maybe I'll put that in there. This also reminds me a little bit of fabric. So I thought, this stencil has got some tapestry marks, but I actually think I'm going to use this, which isn't even a stencil that I bought. A friend had it. I think it was wrapped around flowers, and it worked really well last week. So I'm going to lay that on top, and then I'm going to use a makeup sponge and kind of sponge in some of the paint colors that I chose. And it'll be a bit of a surprise. Last week, I really didn't know it was going to happen last week, and I really liked it. So we'll see what happens today. Okay, and I think I'll start with my sap green and maybe maybe the anthraquinone. I'm going to start, this is a little bit lighter, so I'll start with that, and then maybe I'll put the Payne's Gray in a little bit later on. And these paints are a little bit transparent, which I think is good. And I'm going darker, so I'm a little bit nervous about that. Last week I went lighter, but we shall see. Okay, so you can get these makeup sponges, you know, at Rite Aid, a whole bag of them. Okay, so I'm going to test a corner and see what happens. I've taped this stencil thing down, going lightly. Okay, peel it up. Here's what it's starting to look like. I like it. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Doesn't require that much paint. And I think you can also do 2 colors at the same time. I'm going to do a little bit of this sap green. And I'm going to be a bit random about it and just see what I get. And then I'm thinking maybe next to this thing that I think is the gate, I'll go a little bit darker for contrast. This is just another way of layering that doesn't involve a brush. And I don't even have to sponge the whole thing. I could sort of fade it in this corner. It could fade out. Let's see if it's doing that. I think I'll go all the way. Okay, so now for the magic moment here. Fingers crossed. Okay. I'm pretty happy. And then this again is very much the layering process. I'm pretty happy. The only thing maybe I don't care for so much is these black areas stand out so much. So that might be something I could come in and maybe with one of these other colors, like this green or this blue, go over it, knock it back a little bit. But for now, I'm going to come in here with the Indian yellow, a light wash. I want to give the sense of, it feels like the sun is bursting through. So I want to emphasize that. Just going to check. I could put a flower there or a portion of one. I'm not sure yet. Okay, and these sponges, you can reuse them. Just I'm going to soak this in water now, and then I can wring them out later and use them over again. Okay, Indian yellow. Again, I can double check with my color swatch. So this is all very foresty and kind of shadowy and mysterious, and then I want some pop there. So I'm going to use that. Thinking maybe there's some light coming down this way. Okay, and then I'm trying to figure out what to do here. This is where, if you were cooking, you would call this the spice. Do I put a little pop of red in there somewhere? Maybe right there on the green. So I'm going to have to risk it here. I think I'm going to do just a smidge, maybe there. I'm going to use my new palette knife with these teeth in it, because this kind of impasto kind of has brush marks swooshing across. I'm going to see if I can continue that movement. I like the red, but it is a bit of a target. Okay, that pushed it back a little bit. And just do a little bit more. I feel like I want to maybe make some of these areas a little darker, push it back. Haven't even gotten to my Payne's gray. I don't think I need it. Okay, got to get a different brush. This one does not want to rinse out. Right. Okay, I'm mixing both the green and the blue together. And I'm pushing that white back. I'm trying to smooth the transition into the background. I don't want it so abrupt. Okay, and I'm going to stop there before I get too fussy. I think there's definitely more I could probably do. That's layer 2. And I'm going to stop there for now.